What up, Andrew? We are here, bud.
Again on a Thursday.
We did it.
We always are.
The day before Thanksgiving.
Listen, that was last week, and that joke's old already.
No, not for me. You don't know how many people I've told that to.
I was really bad. I was really bad at that point.
That was so funny. You were so confident too. But
yeah, no. So it is the day before Christmas Eve. I'm fully fledged with my calendar at this point. We've got an awesome guest tonight.
Yes.
Before we get into that, I want to talk about something real quick.
You want to talk about someone? You mean Larky?
Larky, look at him.
Look at Larky.
Look at him. If you guys are a fan of IPAs or anything like that, this is brewed with hops. Well, this is sparkling water made with hops, but they've also got teas: black tea, green tea, white tea, all sorts of teas, all brewed with hops. It's freaking delicious.
It really is. And I am not a beer guy. I just don't like the taste, the flavor of beer. Mm-hmm. This is not that. Like if you don't like beer, give this a shot, guys. It's not that. It's actually pretty damn good.
It's flat out delicious. So
yeah,
we've got a cool show. I kind of want to get into it because I have a feeling that we're gonna run out of time with all the stuff that I want to talk about.
But I have a shout out.
Oh, you do. You got something cool in the mail today.
I did get something cool because I was robbed.
Apparently so.
I was robbed. My pink fluffy handcuffs. They got me.
Who sent you that package?
Mr. Tim Watley. What's going on, bud? This is Mr. Tim Watley from Longhorn Custom Baits, and he sent me a plethora of fishing lures to get back in the game. I appreciate you, but it was actually that little joke going around Facebook. I'm sure most anglers were tagged in it. Either way, dude, some really nice. Look at this little sunfish. Look at the detail on that. Nice.
Sharp, man.
A couple little crankbaits, you know. I'm really excited for this one down south for the peacock. Shout out to Tim at Longhorn Custom Baits, man. Tim Watley, he's on Facebook. Message him. Super cool guy. He can pretty much paint whatever you want. Just holler at him, let him know. And of course, all of his stuff does come with vector hooks, some of the sharpest in the game. So you'll get those tornado trebles. They're not on these right now, but you'll get those tornado trebles, and anything that bites these lures or even gets close to it's going to get stuck and not come off. So thank you very much, Tim. Thank you very much. It was very nice of you to send these, and I greatly appreciate it. Look at this little guy.
What else did he send you?
Oh,
didn't he send you something else?
He did send me some measures to keep my stuff locked up. So I did get the zip ties too.
That's ridiculous.
Thank you very much. It means a lot, bud, and I greatly appreciate it. So thank you very much. Longhorn Custom Baits, Tim Watley. Go message him on Facebook.
Right.
But
Joe, hit him with the commercial. Let's get this started.
Let's get it going.
Things you let me see. Things you let me see.
Well, there she is. Leiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. You know, every time I see that commercial, I get goosebumps. All those guys are amazing. And oftentimes I think when I'm out on the water, damn, how did I fish before I had one of those?
Right.
I'm in the same boat.
And the power pole. And how do we ever get to the point where we could really target fish without a power pole?
It's almost like it's become second nature. It's definitely scary how much it feels like it was always supposed to be there.
I have a micro, and I love my micro on my little girl. And I am telling you, and I'm not trying to be an advertisement for them, but I've known John a long time, and that product just has been something you can't fish without. I can't say you can't live without, but you can't fish without.
That's right. That's right.
It does change the game up. I fish out of a little 17-foot bass tracker, and we have the micro just for weight purposes. You know, we want to keep that thing as light as we can. We like to get real shallow, and it's amazing. before we, like you said, what did I do before that? I guess I just stayed on the trolling motor all day long, but it definitely makes a good day of fishing for sure.
I've had some big boats like my Ranger, the Ranger 24 with twin power poles. And now I have a little skinny custom Ginu, and
Nice.
I've got that little micro on there set back on the, on the bracket, and just, I have a live paddleboard, and
nice.
I have not yet put one of the micros on there. However, I will tell you, you're paddling along and you go, there's a fish, and you're trying to stop, and shit, you can't. Oh, excuse me.
That's okay.
Stop. You blow right over the top of them, and with that micro on that little Ginu, you don't blow over the top of them. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that is true. 100%. 100%. So, do us a favor. Tell our followers kind of who you are, what you do, and how you've gotten to be where you're at.
Gosh. Oh.
Loaded question.
Yeah. There's a lot of facets right there. So I would have to say I grew up with saltwater and freshwater fishing in my veins. My dad was a naval officer, and we traveled all over the country. I was born in Jacksonville, fished in Jacksonville when I was even a baby. In my bathtub, I had catfish and saltwater fish in my bathtub when I was little. Left there and went to the Keys.
Oh, nice.
And my dad was a commander on the base down there. And I grew up, my first job, was selling bait off of the Navy pier and selling pinfish, catching pinfish under the dock with my brother and selling pinfish. So I've always had fishing as part of my life, as part of my culture. And, I grew up, I went to college. I went home every single weekend almost from college so that I could go bass fishing with my dad. And my dad and my mom would be out of town, and I'd sneak home with my friends and my buddies just to take them bass fishing. And it just, I don't know how you don't grow up with fishing as part of your lifestyle. It's such an amazing sport. And it doesn't matter whether you're a male or a female. The fish on the other end of the line doesn't know what
like who or what's throwing it.
Gender you are. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
So I grew up, I went to college, I got a degree in marketing and public relations, and I went to work for an ad agency, went into the financial arena, and honestly, I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy. Things were happening in my career, and I'm just not in control. And I went home one weekend with my father, and we went to Rodman Dam, and we're fishing, and we're sitting there, and we're catching big bass and drinking ice cold beer. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, I am not happy. I don't know where I'm going with my career. I'm just, things are falling apart. I had a financial career, but I traveled all the time. I just wasn't happy. And my dad said, well, what do you want to do for a living? And I said, I want to do this. I want to catch fish, drink beer, and enjoy life. And he goes, well, you're a smart woman. Figure it out. And, I did. I saw two female anglers at a boat show, Sandy and Patty. They were fishing for Ranger boats, and they were all decked out in their fishing shirts, and they were standing there with their big, Ranger bass boat. And I said, well, damn, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to do that. But I didn't have that. I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the background. I hadn't been doing that. But I said, you know what? I'm a smart woman. Just like my dad said, I have marketing skills. I have public relations skills. I'm talented as an angler. And I went out and I reached out to different companies, and I just said, hey, I want to do this. I promise I will promote your company well. And I got sponsorships. I got Ranger to sponsor me. I got Mercury to sponsor me. I got, I got trolling motor companies, battery companies, all different companies that were sponsoring me.
That's awesome.
And my first tournament, guess what? Big goose eggs. And I thought, did I make the right decision here? My partner, I searched really hard for my partner. I had a lot of different anglers I could have fished with, but I wanted to fish with another woman. I wanted it to be something special. And my heart breaks when I talk about this, but I learned of this woman named Captain Marilee Dunn out of Bradenton. Mm-hmm. She was an amazing woman. She was a fly angler and a captain, and I hadn't quite gotten my captain's license yet. And in talking with her, I went and got my captain's license. I wanted to be reputable, and she kept telling me, no, I'm not going to do this. I don't want to fish with you. And this was before we actually did our first tournament. And finally, I talked her into fishing with me. And we had the most amazing run. That first tournament, yes, we goose egged, but we came back with a vengeance. And that first year we went to the national championships. We had opportunities. We always were in the top 10 teams. And we didn't have the support that all these other teams had, but we did it.
That's awesome.
We became the top female team. We were one of the top 10 teams in the country. We were in the All-Stars. We fished the FLW, ESPN, and IFA. We broke that glass ceiling.
Right.
And, I'll never forget, the most amazing feeling for me was when I had a cameraman get on my boat and he said, "How does it feel?" And I'm like, we're in the championship, national championship. The first day we're in first place. It feels pretty damn good. Yeah. He goes, no. He goes, no. He goes, how does it feel to be the team that every other team wants to beat? I said, well, I didn't know that, but now I'm even more happy. So, it's been an amazing ride. Redfish, tarpon, kingfish, those were all the tournaments that we fished, and we did really, really well in. The name of our team, Screaming Reels and High Heels.
Nice.
I was an instructor. I instructed for Orvis. I instructed for the Backwater Extreme Fishing School. So, I've done a lot of really cool things. And I feel like, probably one of the first female fishing captains in Tampa Bay, 1999, I think. And just, it's escalated from there to be an amazing career. Salt Strong ranked me one of the top women in the fishing industry. Several different magazines have ranked me one of the top 5 women in the country in fishing, saltwater. So I'm very proud to be able to represent women in a sport where oftentimes we don't get enough accolades.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that 100%. And partially, like, you've got something that I'm unfortunately, a lot of women and a lot of men anglers don't have, and it's the drive. You've got the passion for it. It's not just you. So I don't know. I feel like if you could just inspire and empower women and even just any angler along the way, you're going to do mountains and basically just move mountains all the way through.
Well, I feel pretty, I get choked up a little bit. I feel very thankful. Mm-hmm. Years ago, I was able to join an organization, Coastal Conservation Association. I've been with them for 7 years. I've been a member for 20 years. I've always supported them. I've always participated in all of their cool events, all their habitat restoration projects. And I don't say all, but in my area.
Right.
And, affectionately, I was nicknamed the Queen of Conservation, which really makes me proud, because when I went to school, I initially thought that I would become a marine biologist. That was what I intended my career to be. Unfortunately, my dad said, "Hey, you'll never make any money being a marine biologist." But now I know he smiles down on me and goes, "Girl, you are smart. You figured out how to do what you love, which is conservation and being involved in that, and still have a great career." So, some of the great works that we get to do, and some of the habitat restoration projects that we're involved in, the restocking, it's just been wonderful psychological compensation from a different aspect for me with my career.
That fulfilling part that you were missing previously.
Yes. It's not a job if you love what you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And I think you hit the nail on the head with when your dad said you'll just figure it out, right? I feel like a lot of people, especially in this day and age, feel stuck where they're at and they're not fulfilled. But you can figure it out, guys. And Miss Leiza is a prime example of that. You just figure it out. Everybody's smart. Believe in yourself and believe in what fulfills you and chase it. I mean, it'll work out. I feel like it'll work out.
But for centuries, Abraham Lincoln, look at how many times he failed and then became the president of our country. Benjamin Franklin. There are so many great individuals throughout the history of our country who failed repeatedly, but finally found where they belong. And, I honestly feel like I finally found where I belong, doing something great. And so many times when I'm at a boat, at a boat ramp, or I'm on the water and a family comes up and says, "Hey, my son won a $5,000 scholarship in the competition that you run." It's extremely rewarding. Or I have a group of kids who come to me and say, "I'm going to every Saturday with my friends. We're going to go up and pick up garbage because we're in the STAR competition." And, the amount of trash that we've collected, the amount of scholarships, $700,000 in college scholarships.
That's huge.
That's incredible.
I don't know of any other organization that has done that kind of scholarship initiative. And it's not, you don't have to be a scholar to get the scholarship. All you have to do is go out and catch fish. Go take your kids out fishing. They have a chance to win scholarships. The same way with the trash collection. Hundreds of pounds of garbage every summer. I think this past year it was over 5 tons of garbage collected.
Holy smokes.
The amount of garbage that is collected, and the individuals that are out there and do it because they're passionate about it.
Right.
That's what's so cool.
No, that's incredible. That's a lot of trash.
Yeah, 5 tons. Like, could you 5 tons of this? Like, this is extremely light. Like,
oh yeah,
that's crazy.
You take a look. You take a look at the CCA implemented something called a trash tour. Our first year, we collected close to 10 tons in our first year. We had several different stops, Titusville, Cedar Key. So the initiatives that we put in place, and then look at what our organization has done over the last 10 years. We're close to $5.6 million in habitat restoration projects, water quality initiatives, advocacy work. We might not be out there pounding our chest and screaming about all the great stuff that we do, but behind the scenes, if you look at the works and the good works that we've done all over the state, not in just one localized area, but throughout the state, Apalachicola, Pensacola, Jacksonville, Titusville, Crystal River, Fort Myers, all the way down into the Florida Keys, Chokoloskee, all of these places, and even out offshore and nearshore reefs, there's not another organization that does that. So to be a part of that, that's where I belong.
That's awesome. Now you mentioned like not everybody knows what goes on behind the scenes. And in passing conversation with you, I found out that there's even more that you do behind the scenes for redfish tournaments.
So that for me,
this is like you.
Yes, that's me. That's a personal initiative that I put in place. And because of that, my organization has come up and supported me and provided me the equipment that I need. That's and I do this on my weekends. It's my time off. I go and work with tournaments throughout the state of Florida, and I convert those tournaments that have weigh-ins where they bring the fish in dead. I convert those tournaments to live weigh-ins. And over the last 3 years on the East Coast, we've saved over 1,000 redfish that would have been brought into a tournament dead and put on a scale and weighed. These fish are now brought in alive. I want to thank many of the different breweries who have provided us with the beer. I provide an incentive, and Bull Bay Rods also is one of my incentives, but they donate beer, and I give a 6-pack of beer for every live redfish that is brought in. And with every redfish that is brought in, they get a raffle ticket. And at the end of the tournament, I draw for a brand new rod and reel, and I give that away. And these tournaments that used to bring in 100 dead redfish now are bringing in maybe 8. The last one had 11 dead redfish, and the rest of the redfish come in alive. We bring them in if it is not sufficient to be able to release those redfish at the site. I have big transport tanks that are oxygenated. I bring them in, I put the fish into those tanks, and then I take those fish back to the areas where they were captured from, and I release them back into the saltwater. That's
how
on the
awesome
East
is that?
Coast.
I'm speechless.
You didn't know about this.
That is, I had no clue. This is amazing.
On the West Coast, I just started these programs on the West Coast. I've just finally gotten many of these big tournaments that used to kill redfish. They're now doing the live weigh-ins, and we're able to save those. And in the last 2 years, we've saved nearly 600 redfish. But what's even more important is I've been able to convert those tournaments from killing their big trout to doing CPR. And they're taking now, and no longer is it by weight for those trout. It's actually by inches. And I personally manage those fish that come in, and I do their weigh-in for them. And they don't pay me. I do that on my own time. And we're saving hundreds of big trout. Instead of those trout being killed over the last 5 years, I think it's close to 120. I think it's 127 trout that we've saved that were over the 20-inch level. And a big trout, she spawns multiple times in a year. So we're not just saving those 125 trout or those over 1,000 redfish on the East Coast and 600 on the West Coast.
Right.
Every one of those fish are millions of other fish that we're saving.
Right. You're just helping the future out for us. You know,
that's like the best hobby I've ever heard of in my life.
It's fun, but then I get to, I will tell you, it is very hard for someone who's a tournament angler to watch all those guys and gals go out and go fishing. And then you're sitting at the dock watching them with their fish coming in, and you're just going, oh, that's killing me, man.
Nothing's worse when they're like, hey, Joe, I need you to go out on a project. You have to be at a weigh-in for a bass tournament, and you just got to take pictures. I'm like, God dang it. Like, I wanted to be fishing.
Yes.
I love the live release, though. I think the sport in general, fishing, saltwater, freshwater, any kind of water, needs a lot more of that to protect our species and protect the future of fishing. And I mean, I love Florida. I've been all up and down the East Coast. And I love Florida, and fishing's growing, which I love. I love to see a lot of the youth getting into fishing. There was no high school fishing teams. There's even middle school fishing teams now. And I think it's absolutely freaking amazing. It was not the cool thing to do when I was in middle school, but I still went and did it.
I'm an instructor here in Sarasota. I'm an instructor for our middle school here, and we have a club, and we meet, and the middle school meets, and we teach them casting and tying knots and everything. So we have a great little middle school here.
That's awesome. And programs like what you do on the weekend on your time off, I just found out about this, and I am going to be forever grateful to you, Leiza, for doing this, because as it grows, there's a lot more anglers, a lot more pressure on these fish, and we got to do everything we possibly can to keep them healthy and producing. And I think you're doing a great job on what you're doing there.
Well, I will tell you, the coolest thing is there's a tournament up in St. Augustine, and it's been going on for almost 60, 70 years. The last 3 years, they've allowed me to come in with my tanks and bring those fish in, resuscitate them, and get them back to health. Once we get them back to health, I have the high school football team, and I have middle schoolers, and those people who I take those fish from those tanks, and we put them in fish bags. And I watch these kids carry those fish back down the dock, out to the end of the dock, and release them. And the looks on their face when they come back up, and they are so excited. And the parents later text me or call me and say, my kid wants to be a marine biologist. My son just told me we can never kill another redfish.
Oh my gosh.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. I'm not opposed to keeping a fish now and then.
Right.
But when you have a tournament and you have 100 boats in a tournament, and each boat is allowed to keep 2 fish, that's a lot of fish being removed from our water, from our resources. So that is the reason that I personally got engaged in this and decided that I gave up my time with my family and my what I love to do to make sure that we have some way. It's my own mini restocking program, Leiza Restocking program.
I'm co-signing it. That's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's a lot of fun. So if you know of any companies that want to help provide incentives for these people to bring in their redfish alive, I'm always trying to find people who want to help me with that. It's great that, the beer companies have been, and let me tell you, when you say you're going to get a 6-pack of beer for bringing a redfish in alive, I can't tell you the guys that sign up and bring their redfish in alive.
What is better than that? Even if you don't win the tournament, you got a 6-pack, man, and you got to go fishing.
And you might even win a bull bay rod and reel.
Right.
That doesn't get better than that.
This needs to happen more in the bass world. Like, I would love to lose a tournament and to get a 6-pack. Like that would be awesome, right?
What is that? Yeah,
that's amazing. That's a really good deal, Andrew. We gotta fish one of these, dude.
And I want to. I need to. Now, tell us. So, what do you have going on for 2022? What's in your future?
So, we have the Star competition coming up. CCA Florida Star, and that runs Memorial Day to Labor Day. $500,000 in prizes. If you are not aware of the tagged redfish and the tagged dolphin, it's kind of like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with the golden ticket. If you're out there fishing for redfish and you catch one of our redfish that have a tag in it for the current year, you have the opportunity to win a brand new boat. That is a boat, a Contender, a Pathfinder, a Hughes, a Spider boat.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we have 17 other divisions. We have non-tagged redfish, non-tagged trout, non-tagged snook, dolphin, kingfish, and grouper. We have our trash division, Coast to Kick Plastic Trash division. We have the youth scholarship division. We have a ladies division, a kayak division, but it's all with $500,000 in prizes, 101 days of fishing. It's very inexpensive. It's $40 to join the competition. Everything is a catch photo. So you take a picture of it and you submit it through the app. And it is the Star Tournament app. It's very simple. You just have to be a CCA member. That's a really cool initiative. I am going to roll out some pretty cool other things that Andrew and I are working on for women in the sport of fishing.
Yes.
I will tell you that women in fishing, it's the fastest growing segment of the industry. And I don't feel like women are represented in the fashion that they should be. I just did a seminar for West Marine down at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show with 3 other ladies who are all professionals. Pam Worth, who is the top kayak angler in the country. Deb Deo, Captain Deb Deo, a Blue Water Girl, charters in the Keys. And then Debbie Hansen, Captain Debbie Hansen out of South Florida, who does a lot of peacock bass fishing, freshwater fishing. We've tried to start this initiative for women to understand that it's not difficult to start fishing. It's a great way. You don't have to have a boat. You can use a kayak, you can wade fish, you can pier fish. It is such an easy sport to get engaged in. And I've been a single mom. My boys now are in their 20s. But as a single mom, that's what I did for my boys. I took them fishing, and I was very fortunate to be able to teach them how to fish. And I do believe that oftentimes women forget that fishing can be a great way to spend time with your child. When you put a child in organized sports, you hand that child off to someone else who teaches them. When you're fishing and you're with your child, you're 4 or 5 or 6 hours with that child. And Trace Adkins said it really well. They think we're just fishing. It's not just fishing.
Oh, that's deep. That shook me.
Right.
Think about it.
Not to Trace Atkins. That is super deep.
You ever hear that song, Joe?
Have you ever heard it?
I have. I've just never heard it said to me. And like to really feel it, I have goosebumps on my neck right now. And you're absolutely right. I have 3 little girls, and they love the bluegill fish. It's like they freak out. Like, just some night crawlers and a little bobber at the park. They have the best time. As long as they're catching, dad's with them, mom's with them, baby's running around wherever she's at. It's just a good time.
About that. There is so much more to it than just catching the fish.
Absolutely.
So that's what I try to instill in women. I've been an instructor for FWC and, their women's fishing and ladies let's go fishing and the Orvis fly instructor. And I really honestly feel like even if you're with your boyfriend, your husband, whomever you're fishing with, it's more than catching fish. It's more than being on the boat. It's actually a connection that you can't get anywhere else.
That's a fact.
Yeah. You don't really have a choice, right? There's no TV. You can lock the phones up and, up under there. So I always put my phone away so it doesn't get messed up. And it's just YouTube or whoever it may be,
you think about the things you see on the water.
Oh, amazing. It's
osprey.
So many awesome things.
Eagles, porpoise.
The spoonbills. I love the spoonbills. They're so pretty.
Roseate spoonbills are.
Yeah. Every time I see one, I lose my shit. I'm cussing. I don't care. I lose my shit. I'm like, spoonbill. And like my buddy will be like, what's a spoonbill? I'm like, bro. He's like, that's a flamingo. I'm like, that's not a damn flamingo. That is a spoonbill. And take a good look at it. You might not see them. Like,
it's the coolest thing to watch them walk the bank and just go back and forth.
Dude, like Man, they're so methodical, but they get it done.
But the only thing I have to say about the spoonbill, why did it have to be pink?
I know.
I do not like pink.
Maybe like a teal. What if it would have been teal? That would have been beautiful.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Or like that blue that the redfish
blue on the end of a redfish tail.
Oh man, that would have been.
Let's write a letter to HR and see if someone can do something about it.
What can we do? Let's start dyeing our shrimps.
Maybe we could like you can superimpose colors, in a photo, change it. All right, Joe, I'm putting this one on you. Send me a teal spoonbill.
A teal bill.
There we go.
I'll figure it out. Photoshop's a wonderful thing.
But I do have to digress just a little bit. I have spent an amazing amount of time on the water with my dad, bass fishing, an amazing amount of time on the water with my mom. But I am also an outdoors woman. So I love to hunt. I love being in the woods. The times of the years predicate where I am and what I do. I'm an avid turkey hunter. I'm an avid elk hunter and whitetail hunter. If it's waterfowl season, I'm in a boat. So, I've got a rod and a shotgun. And so I honestly believe that a female can be beautiful in so many ways. She doesn't just have to be Miss Priss. We can be, we can be that tomboy and still be, looked at as beautiful. So
absolutely.
I think it makes you even more beautiful if you have those qualities as well, because it changes the way you look at people and it changes the way you look at life.
Right. And I think that shines through when you as a woman, I think when a woman feels fulfilled and truly happy, I think that shines through and speaks words that
100%
doesn't even exist. I just think
confidence.
It just freaking flows out of you guys. And like, you can feel it, and I'm feeling it right now, Leiza. I'm feeling it. No, but it really is.
Tim Allen.
There we go.
No,
that's going to become a TikTok, right?
Yeah, you're on TikTok now, Leiza.
Oh no!
It's not a bad thing.
I don't even know. I have to tell you, I think I've done one TikTok in my life. Well, I will tell you, the coolest thing about my career is when a parent reaches out to me, and I have several young youth that really touched my heart. And I will give you a young man's name, Parker Kleppenberger. When I first met him 4 or 5 years ago, Parker was very shy and very, I hate to use the word demure, but he was very introverted. Mm-hmm. And he got engaged with Star. And the first year he won a honorable mention in our youth scholarship division. And then he won a $5,000 scholarship, and he started picking up trash around the marina where the boats were. And his mom said after he won that scholarship that he became this extrovert. And the next time that I saw him when he accepted his award for the scholarship, he was a totally different young man. And I've seen that so much in the kids that have gone through and won scholarships from our organization, from STAR. And I follow those and I get to see them, and I get to see their graduations, and to know that we have companies like Academy Sports and Outdoors and Real Tree Fishing that give us $25,000 to award to a youth every year for catching fish. And those kids get to use those scholarships. And many of those youth that win them would not have gone to school or gone to college or had further education. And it doesn't have to be just for college. It can be for vocational school. You can become a fireman. You can become an electrician.
Oh,
if
that's
it's further
good.
education after college, that's what the scholarships are for.
That is amazing.
That's really cool.
That's awesome. You know, you can learn a trade, right? You know that. You know,
it's wonderful just to see. And Parker organized groups of his friends on the weekends, and they went to different shorelines and picked up garbage. And you know, we've got a gentleman up in John Nooney up in Jacksonville. He collected over 1,000 5-gallon buckets out of his kayak.
What?
1,000 5-gallon buckets of trash.
Wait a second.
Kayak.
How long is this tournament? Is that just in one tournament set?
That's from Memorial Day to Labor Day. 1,000 5-gallon buckets.
Dude,
I have a gentleman in the Florida Keys.
5 buckets a day.
Yes. I have another gentleman in Titusville who every Monday, he and his wife, he has a Toyota. His wife drives the Toyota. He sits in the back and he drives up and down the causeways there in Titusville every Monday. And he picks up all the garbage on the causeways and he enters them. He had over 1,000 5-gallon buckets this past year.
That is insane.
It inspires.
I'm inspired. Like I want to go. Like really I feel like I'm not doing enough right now. Like
you know,
1,000.
I see people on the water now picking up garbage. If you are familiar with Rick Riles tells me I can no longer go out in my boat with my grandchildren and just fish. We're on a mission. We're picking up garbage. Every piece of garbage we see, we pick up. I love that.
Yes, me too.
You know, when you can have people making lifestyle changes for the betterment of our environment, that's what it's all about.
And what's scary is they're getting this much trash, right? Like how much is not getting got, you know? And the more we could spread this, and I don't feel like I'm doing enough. And I'll come to my spots in disgust and just start doing it out of disgust, right? Like how could you? There's a garbage can right here, you know? And well, I know the coons get in there sometimes, but I mean, still.
I will tell you, on the east coast of Florida, we release almost 80 tagged redfish. And that's on average 4 per coastal county. When I'm releasing fish in different areas and I'm having to slip through the mangroves with a bag, you know, with my fish in a bag, and I'm got my boots on and I'm slipping through there and I'm stepping over trash to get out there to release a fish, it's heartbreaking. And that's what inspired me to include, we started this trash division, this Coast to Kick plastic trash division 4 years ago. And every year it's over 5 tons of garbage that we collect.
Insane.
That's awesome. I want to talk about something. Joe, you've got a piece of artwork in your possession right now that was done by Maggie out of Titusville.
Maggie.
I don't know if you know who she is or anything like that.
Good wine?
No, Maggie. It's either Lytle. Are you familiar with Justin Menendez at all out of Titusville?
No.
Let me show you here.
She went around and collected trash off the beach and put this entire snook together.
Nah, hold on now.
Out of nothing but trash.
That is gorgeous.
It's even more in person. Like the detail is insane. Leiza,
we saw this. Joe found it, and I was just like, he was like, should we get it? I was like, yeah, we need it. I was like, what are we gonna do with it though? Because we're gonna have to cut it in half because I need part of it. So we're giving it away. We just launched NextFish Premier, and it's a local tourism driven educational platform, but we're giving it away to people that sign up. So we've got a whole just a bunch of stuff we're giving away. But this is like the best thing in the whole giveaway.
Yeah. When we saw it, we were like, okay, do we really have to give this away? Like we already promised people.
Yeah, but you've got bottle caps. You've got rope from, I'm assuming, a cast net or something like that.
There's like
the lateral line. That is so awesome.
and everything was right there out of the lagoon, you know, and she was just on another mission again, dude, with a 5-gallon bucket. I don't know, and just picking up trash. And I mean, look at that, creating beautiful art, right? Like, this is amazing.
You know, there's another Corey Goodwine over there. She does the same thing. I have a redfish that I gave away in the trash division that she created from trash that we gathered. So awesome. I you know, I can only tell you that there's so much that we need to do, and so many people who oftentimes talk a good game, but never get their mud under their toenails or under their fingernails. And, you know, if you've got to engage yourself, you can't just talk about it. You can't just wish about it. You got to do something about it. And that's my big thing is, you know, you can have a lot of keyboard warriors, but it's when you actually do the hard brick and mortar projects that make a difference. That's when it becomes reality.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. Well, Leiza, I wholeheartedly appreciate you coming on. I can't wait to see what's to come. I know we've got a lot of stuff we're working on, so I'm excited about that.
Well, and you know, I want to share that, but that's something. Stay tuned for the rest of the story.
Yeah. He sent me a little preview, and me and him were kind of going back and forth on that.
It was pretty cool.
I can't say it because I'll spill the beans, but
yeah, I'm pretty excited. You know, I think there's a lot of potential, and I'm just I just think that there's so many things that can be done, and people who can benefit from, you know, and there is one thing I want to talk about. There is a program that I'm working on, and I'm an instructor for it in Citrus County. It's called Hook, Line, and Thinker. And it is a program for, you mentioned elementary school. We've put together with the Homosassa Guides Association up there a book on conservation, fishing, and keeping our water clean. And every elementary school class will go through this education program, and it's a 3-day education program. They will come over from school into a conference room, and we will send them through all of the different aspects, and they'll learn about fisheries management. They'll learn about conservation. They'll learn about grasses. They'll learn about sewage and how sewage affects, and chemicals, and all of those things. And that is in Citrus County, and it's called Hook, Line, and Thinker.
Write that down, Andrew. He's my note taker, Leiza.
Pardon me?
I told Andrew, I was like, write that down. He's my note taker. That's awesome. I real quick, I know we're trying to cut it short, but I remember I grew up in Homestead. Now I remember we'd go to this place in the Keys where they would do like terrapin turtle. I don't know, I can't remember, but I do remember being there and how awesome that was to me to like release these terrapins back into the wild. And I didn't even know what a terrapin turtle was until that. And it just, I just love stuff like that. And I think if we can introduce kids to nature at an earlier age, you know, we can turn a lot of them around that tend to go down the bad path.
You know, there are so many great programs. I know that Guy Harvey is working on a program right now for the education system. So there's a lot of really great programs that are coming out there. And I just think the more that people understand and have an education, the better off we're going to be. And I think, you know, Mother Nature is resilient. If we can cut her some slack, she'll heal. Right. But if we don't cut her some slack, we're going to find an old lady pretty soon.
Yeah. We're not going to let that happen, Leiza. I'm not. I'm motivated. I've never been this motivated in my life. I'm super pumped, Andrew. I don't know about you.
This
Well,
was
I hope
equivalent to
everybody
watching
else
the
will
Powerful
watch
commercial.
tonight. You know, I know the UCF game is tonight, and a lot of people were going, "Man, we're watching the game. We can't watch you too." And I'm like, "Okay, I understand."
It's okay. We
Listen,
keep
they
it
can
up.
tune in after the game's over. It's all
Yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah,
right.
we
Tune in
keep it up.
later.
That's right.
Well, I am so looking forward to the great future that we all have together, and I appreciate it. And I just hope that from this, everybody does one good thing each day, not just once, but
Yes,
each day, do
right.
something good for our environment.
Residual effort. Absolutely.
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate your time. I know you're
Thank
with your
you, guys.
family. You have a great night, and thank you so much for your
Merry
time.
Christmas and happy holidays to everyone.
Yes,
Merry Christmas. Thank you
You
so
have a
much.
good one. Bye-bye. Bro, I'm freaking pumped.
I got us.
I'm pumped. Dude, I'm pumped.
Dude,
I want to go trash picking up right now.
Dude, 1,000 buckets in like 100 days? That's
In a
10, that's 10
kayak.
buckets a day. I said it was 5. That's 10.
Yeah, 10, bro. In a kayak.
He's got to
At
have a
least-
second kayak just for his trash buckets.
Bro.
There ain't no way.
What if we
That's
filled up
epic.
kayaks? What if we got a kayak and toted one behind us and filled the kayak behind us up?
That is so crazy.
How many 5-gallon buckets fit in a kayak?
Dude, honestly,
Like maybe 10, right?
why wouldn't you? I would get a paddleboard. You'd have more surface area.
Dude, what about that thing we saw? Like the mat, the floating mat.
Oh, was it? No, it was
That was like Placid Marine. I
Lake
think.
Placid. Yeah.
Yes, dude. We'll talk about this off air. Either way, I'm pumped.
I wouldn't even do 5-gallon buckets at that point. I would just do like bins. Like
Yeah, right. Like totes. I don't know, but I'm pumped, and what blows my mind is that that is literally 5 tons of trash collected, and we did we even scratch it? Like how much more is out there? And like Lisa said, she's wading through it.
the problem that I have is in all of this effort to get trash off the beach, somehow, somewhere, someone thought it would be a good idea to make a paper straw. We would be fine if people just didn't drop the straws off into the ocean.
Yeah, I don't care what the straw is. Just quit.
Paper straws are the epitome. They're the epitome of just Satan himself drawn into an inanimate object. It's unethical. It's unethical. And to that, I say Merry Christmas, everyone, and good night.
Good night.